My brother told our entire family I'm giving him my beach house for his wedding. I never agreed to this. Now mom's crying that dad would be disgusted by my greed. Update: the fiancé secretly reached out to me. Hey friends. Got a sec? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit subscribe. It's quick for you, but it really means a lot to us. Alright, let's dive into today's story. Original post. I, 33M, find myself in an impossible situation with my younger brother Logan, 29M, and I genuinely don't know if I'm being selfish or if I'm finally seeing clearly after years of family manipulation. I need outside perspective because my own judgment feels completely compromised by guilt and obligation. Let me provide the full context, because the history matters here. I'm the older of two sons, raised in a middle-class family in Portland. Our father, Michael, was a contractor who built his business from nothing, and our mother, Patricia, was a school administrator. They preached family loyalty above everything else. Family takes care of family wasn't just a saying in our house, it was gospel. When I was 19, Dad died suddenly from a heart attack. He was only 52. That moment changed everything. Mom fell apart, and suddenly I was the one holding everything together. I was in my sophomore year at Oregon State, studying computer science, and overnight I became the man of the house. Logan was only 15, a freshman in high school, and Mom made it clear that protecting and providing for him was now my responsibility. I threw myself into that role with everything I had. I graduated early, landed a job at a tech startup, and sent money home every month. While my college friends were backpacking through Europe or taking entry-level jobs for the experience, I was choosing positions based solely on salary, always thinking about Mom and Logan. The startup I joined ended up being acquired by Microsoft when I was 26. My stock options were worth enough that I could finally breathe. I paid off Mom's mortgage, set up a college fund for Logan, and for the first time in 7 years, I did something purely for myself. I bought a beach house in Monterey. This house isn't some mansion. It's a modest 3-bedroom cottage built in the 1960s, with weathered cedar shingles and a wraparound deck that overlooks the ocean. But to me, it represents everything. It's where I grieved properly for Dad, finally letting myself cry 7 years after his death. It's where I rebuilt myself after my ex-fiancée, Jennifer, left me for someone who was emotionally available, which I wasn't, because I was too busy managing everyone else's lives. It's where I wrote the business plan for my current company, sitting on that deck at sunrise, finally dreaming my own dreams instead of just managing other people's disasters. Logan's path has been different. He changed majors 4 times in college: photography, business, communications, then finally graduating with a degree in marketing after 6 years. I paid for all of it, including the extra years, because Dad would have wanted him to find his passion. After college, Logan moved to Los Angeles to become a photographer. When that didn't work out, he pivoted to music production. Then cryptocurrency trading. Then influencer marketing. Each pivot came with expenses I covered: equipment, courses, rent during transition periods, credit card bailouts when things didn't work out. The photography equipment alone was $12,000. Professional cameras, lenses, lights, backdrops, everything needed for a serious photography business. 6 months later, he sold it all to fund a trip to Vegas with friends, telling me the photography industry was too saturated anyway. The music production phase required a $10,000 setup. That equipment now gathers dust in Mom's garage. The cryptocurrency phase lost $15,000 of my money in 3 weeks. Through it all, I kept telling myself this was what Dad would have wanted. This was taking care of family. Logan would find his way eventually, and when he did, he'd remember who supported him. We'd be close, bonded by my sacrifice and his gratitude. 2 months ago, Logan got engaged to Maya, a woman he'd been dating for 18 months. Maya is different from Logan's usual girlfriends. She's grounded, has a stable career as a dental hygienist, and seems to genuinely care about building a future rather than just living in the moment. When they announced their engagement at Mom's birthday dinner, I was genuinely happy. Maybe this was the stability Logan needed. Last week, Logan texted asking to meet for lunch at our usual spot, a brewery downtown. He seemed nervous, which I attributed to wedding planning stress. After we ordered, he launched into what was clearly a rehearsed speech. "Owen, you know how much you mean to me. You've been more than a brother. You've been like a second father since Dad died. You've always been there for me, and I want you to know I see that and appreciate it." I should have seen where this was going, but I was actually touched. Logan rarely acknowledged my support so directly. He continued, "Maya and I have been talking about what we want our marriage to look like. We don't just want a wedding, we want to build a foundation for our future family. Somewhere stable, somewhere beautiful, somewhere that means something." Then he dropped the bomb, your beach house would be perfect for us." I assumed he meant for the wedding or honeymoon, and I immediately started thinking about dates when they could use it. But he kept talking. "I know it's a big ask, but hear me out. You're successful. You make over $400,000 a year. You could buy another beach house, maybe something even nicer. But Maya and I will probably never be able to afford something like that. The tech industry has made housing impossible for normal people. Your one act of generosity could change our entire lives." I sat there, beer untouched, trying to process what he was actually asking. He wanted me to give him my beach house. Not lend, not rent, give. "Think about it," he pressed on. "That house sits empty at least half the time while you're working in the city. With Maya and me there, it would be a real home. Our kids would grow up with the beach as their backyard. You could visit whenever you want. You'd always have a place to stay." The entitlement was breathtaking. He was offering me guest privileges in my own house. When I didn't immediately respond, he pulled out his phone. "Look, I even found some listings for other beach houses you might like." He scrolled through Zillow listings, all priced between $2 and $3 million. "This one even has a pool. You've always wanted a pool." I managed to say I needed time to think. Logan grinned, clearly taking this as a yes. "I knew you'd need to process. You always were the thoughtful one. But Owen, imagine being the brother who gave his sibling the ultimate wedding gift. That's legendary. That's the kind of story people tell for generations." Since that lunch, the pressure campaign has been relentless. Daily texts with photos of him and Maya at our future home from their last visit. Links to furniture they're planning to buy for the house. Maya's Pinterest board titled Beach House Dreams that she accidentally shared with me. A group family text where Logan announced that I was considering the most generous wedding gift ever, which prompted a flood of hearts and praise emojis from relatives I barely know. Then Mom got involved. She called me crying, actually crying, about how beautiful it would be for Logan to finally have the stability he deserves. She reminded me that I don't have children yet, that my accumulation of wealth means nothing if I don't share it with family. She even invoked Dad. "Your father would be so proud to see you taking care of your brother like this. He always said family homes should stay in the family." The manipulation was obvious, but the guilt still worked. That house is worth $1.2 million now. It's not just an asset, it's my sanctuary, my retreat, my connection to the life I built after Dad died. But Logan's not entirely wrong. I could, technically, afford another one eventually. Maybe in 5 years, after my company goes public. Sarah, my girlfriend of 8 months, is furious on my behalf. She pointed out that Logan has never once asked about my dreams, my plans, my struggles. It's always been one-way support. But then I think about 15-year-old Logan at Dad's funeral, looking so lost, and I wonder if I've enabled this dynamic by never saying no before. Update 1, 2 weeks later. The response to my original post was overwhelming and eye-opening. Over 800 comments, with 90% telling me to maintain boundaries. Many of you shared your own stories of family financial manipulation, and the patterns were disturbingly familiar. Your collective wisdom gave me the courage to take action I should have taken years ago. I scheduled an emergency session with my therapist, Dr. Chen. I hadn't seen her in 6 months, foolishly thinking I had my family dynamics under control. I printed out my Reddit post and some of the most insightful responses to share with her. Dr. Chen's opening observation was surgical in its precision. "Owen, in the 2 years we worked together, how many sessions did we spend discussing your pattern of equating love with financial sacrifice? And here you are, about to give away your sanctuary because you're afraid not doing so means you don't love your brother." We spent 90 minutes dissecting not just this situation but the entire architecture of manipulation I'd been living in. Dr. Chen had me create a timeline of every significant financial help I'd given Logan. Age 22, paid off $8,000 in credit card debt after his graduation trip, got out of hand. Age 23, covered 3 months of LA rent, $7,500, when photography clients were slow to pay. Age 24, another 6 months of rent, $9,000, during his transition to music production. Age 24, the music production equipment, $10,000. Age 25, professional photography equipment, $12,000, that he sold 6 months later. Age 26, paid off another round of credit cards, $6,000. Age 27, invested $15,000 in his cryptocurrency trading venture. Age 28, loaned him $5,000 for a car down payment, never repaid. Age 29, covered security deposit and first month's rent for his current apartment for $1,500. Total documented, $77,000, not including birthday gifts, holiday money, dinners, or other small amounts. Now, Dr. Chen said, list what Logan has given you. Not financially, but emotionally. Time, effort, support during difficult periods. The silence stretched uncomfortably long. Logan had missed my promotion celebration for a networking opportunity. When Jennifer and I split, his comfort consisted of a text saying, "Plenty of fish in the sea, bro." He showed up 3 hours late to my birthday dinner this year because he lost track of time at a sample sale. When I was hospitalized with appendicitis 2 years ago, he visited once for 15 minutes. Dr. Chen's next question reframed everything. Would you maintain this relationship if you weren't related? The answer was immediate and crushing. Absolutely not. Armed with this clarity and Dr. Chen's coaching on boundary-setting language, I invited Logan for coffee. I chose a public place to prevent dramatic scenes and rehearsed my key points. Logan arrived confident, already talking about renovation plans for the house. I let him finish, then calmly stated my decision. Logan, I've given this a lot of thought. The beach house is not going to be a wedding gift. It's my personal retreat, connected to my own journey and healing, and I'm keeping it. However, I'd be happy to contribute to your wedding in other meaningful ways. His face cycled through confusion, disbelief, and then anger. Other ways? Owen, we're not talking about some cash in a card here. This is my wedding. The beginning of my marriage. Maya's family already thinks I'm the unsuccessful brother. This house would show them I can provide. If Maya's family judges you for not owning a $1 million property at 29, that's their issue. And if Maya needs... This isn't about Maya, he exploded. This is about you being selfish. That house means everything to us and nothing to you. You can buy another one. Logan, I've given you $77,000 over the past 7 years. I didn't ask you to keep track. That's what family does. They help each other. When has this help gone both ways? That stopped him cold. He stared at me, then his face hardened. Dad would be disgusted by what you've become. A selfish, money-hoarding. Stop. My voice was firm. Dad worked his entire life and never owned a beach house. He would understand the value of what you're asking for and would never expect it as a gift. Logan stormed out, but not before delivering his parting shot. I hope your money keeps you warm when you're old and alone. Update 2, 1 month later. The family explosion was swift and comprehensive. Logan immediately called Mom, who activated the extended family phone tree. Within 24 hours, I'd received calls, texts, and emails from relatives I hadn't heard from since Dad's funeral. Aunt Carol, Owen, family helps family. Don't let money come between you and your brother. Uncle James, your dad would want that house to stay in the family. Logan having it keeping it in the family. Cousin Patricia, you don't even have kids. At least Logan's trying to start a family. The narrative Logan crafted was masterful in its manipulation. According to him, I owned multiple investment properties, false, just my condo and the beach house, made millions from my company, I make $400,000, which is excellent but not millions, and was denying him his one chance at happiness. Mom was the worst. She called daily, alternating between tears and anger. I didn't raise you to be selfish, she said one day. Your brother has struggled while everything came easy to you. Can't you share your good fortune? Mom, I replied, nothing came easy. I worked 80-hour weeks. I sacrificed my 20s to build this career. I missed friendships, relationships, experiences because I was busy being responsible. For family, she shot back. You did it for family. And now when family needs you, you turn your back. The guilt was suffocating. I started second-guessing myself. Maybe I was being selfish. Maybe successful people were supposed to lift up their families. Maybe this was my dad's legacy, taking care of Logan through giving him the house. Then, unexpectedly, Maya reached out. Her text was simple, Owen, can we talk? Just us. We met at a quiet cafe downtown. Maya looked exhausted, stressed in a way I hadn't seen before. She ordered tea, wrapped her hands around the mug, and started talking. I need you to know I knew nothing about Logan's plan to ask for the house. When he came home that day saying you were giving it to us, I thought he meant for the honeymoon. When I realized what he'd actually asked for, we had our first real fight. She continued, I grew up in a similar dynamic. My older sister, Melissa, was the responsible one. Good grades, good job, always reliable. My parents expected her to pay for my college, my car, my wedding to my first husband. She did it all, never complaining. She's 41 now, single, and deeply resentful. She hasn't spoken to me in 3 years because she finally realized we'd stolen her life from her. Maya's eyes were bright with unshed tears. I won't be part of doing that to someone else. I won't build my marriage on your sacrifice. She revealed things about Logan I hadn't known. The networking opportunity he'd missed my promotion for? A poker game. The cryptocurrency losses. Mostly from risky day trading against Maya's advice. He'd told her the photography equipment was stolen, rather than admit he'd sold it. I love Logan, Maya said firmly. But I love the man he could be, not the boy he's been allowed to remain. This whole situation has made me realize how much growing up he still needs to do. How much we both do. She then made her proposal. What if you hosted our rehearsal dinner at the beach house? You'd still be sharing this special place with us, but in a way that maintains boundaries. It would mean the world to have family gathered there, seeing the backdrop of where Logan and I are committing to building our own dreams, not inheriting someone else's. I told her I'd consider it, genuinely warming to the idea. Someone finally saw me as a person, not just a resource. Update 3, 6 weeks later. After Maya and I talked, Logan went radio silent for 3 weeks. No texts, no calls, nothing on social media. Mom reported he was processing his grief over your selfishness, but I noticed Maya had tagged him in several couples therapy posts on Instagram. Then, on a Thursday evening, Logan called. Can we meet? His voice was different, subdued, almost humble. I have some things I need to say. We met at the same brewery, but the energy was entirely different. Logan looked tired but somehow more adult than I'd ever seen him. Maya insisted we go to couples counseling before the wedding, he started. I thought it was stupid. We weren't having problems, except for, the house thing. But Dr. Patterson, our therapist, he's been making me look at patterns I didn't want to see. He pulled out a notebook, pages covered in his handwriting. He had me list every time you helped me financially, then write what I was doing to help myself at that time. Owen, most of these pages are blank on my side. Logan's voice cracked slightly. I've been treating you like an ATM with guilt buttons. That's literally what Dr. Patterson called it. He asked me to imagine how I'd feel if Maya had a sibling who treated her like I treat you. I got angry just thinking about it. The hypocrisy was illuminating. He showed me a spreadsheet on his phone. I've documented everything I can remember that you've given me. It's over $70,000. I can't pay it back all at once, but I've set up a payment plan. $500 a month to start, more when my business grows. What business? I asked. Digital marketing for local restaurants. Actual services for actual clients, not some get-rich-quick scheme. Maya's helping with the books. We landed our first 2 clients last week. The conversation was surreal. This was the accountability I'd wanted for years but never expected. About the house, Logan continued, I'm not going to lie and say I don't still want it. But it's like wanting to win the lottery, a fantasy, not an expectation. You earned that house. Every beam, every board, every grain of sand on that beach. I've earned nothing except your frustration. He paused, then asked, would you consider Maya's idea about the rehearsal dinner? We'd handle all the setup, catering costs, everything. We just want to celebrate there, not take it from you. I found myself agreeing, but with conditions. The dinner would be my wedding gift. I'd handle costs, but they'd do the planning and coordination. No last-minute additions, no surprise expenses, no guilt trips about anything else. Logan agreed immediately, then added something that stunned me. I've been a shitty brother, Owen. You've been carrying me since Dad died, and I've been letting you, even encouraging it. That ends now. I want to be someone you're proud to call brother, not someone you support out of obligation. Final update, 4 months later. I'm writing this from the deck of my beach house, still mine, gloriously, peacefully mine, watching the sun rise over the Pacific. The wedding was last weekend, and I finally have the distance to reflect on everything that's transpired. The rehearsal dinner exceeded every expectation. Logan and Maya arrived 3 days early to prepare, and watching them work together was revelatory. Maya's organizational skills were impressive, but more impressive was Logan following through on every commitment. No shortcuts, no excuses, no passing the buck. They transformed the deck into something magical. String lights creating constellations, local wildflowers in mason jars, a playlist that perfectly captured the joy of the evening. 35 people gathered as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of coral and gold. Maya's family was nothing like the judgmental group Logan had described. Her father, James, was particularly kind, pulling me aside to say, Maya told us about the house situation. Thank you for showing them both that love isn't measured in dollar signs. Too many young people today expect to inherit their success instead of building it. During dinner, Logan stood to give a toast. I expected wedding platitudes, but he surprised everyone, especially me. Before we celebrate tomorrow, I need to acknowledge someone who made this possible. My brother Owen. Not because he's hosting us in this beautiful place, though we're grateful for that, but because he gave me something more valuable than any house. He gave me the opportunity to grow up. For years, I treated Owen's success as my personal safety net. Every failure, every bad decision, every impulsive choice, I knew Owen would catch me. When he said no to giving us this house, I was furious. How dare he deny me something I felt entitled to simply because we shared parents? But that no forced me to look in the mirror. I saw a 29-year-old man who'd never truly stood on his own feet. Maya deserves a partner, not a project. Our future children deserve a father who builds their legacy, not one who waits to inherit someone else's. Owen, you've given me over $70,000 over the years. But the most valuable thing you ever gave me was that two-letter word, no. It forced me to become someone worth respecting, someone worth loving as an equal, not a charity case. There wasn't a dry eye on the deck. Mom was sobbing, finally understanding what Dr. Chen had been trying to tell me. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is refuse to enable someone's stagnation. The wedding itself was beautiful. I did pay for it, about $30,000 for a beach ceremony and reception for 100 guests. But this felt like a gift, not extortion. The difference was profound. I offered it freely after watching Logan respect my boundaries for months. Logan has kept his word about repayment. 4 months, 4 payments of $500. It's not about the money. At this rate, it'll take over a decade to repay everything. It's about the acknowledgement, the effort, the respect. His digital marketing business is actually growing. He landed a contract with a restaurant group last month that will provide steady income. Maya manages the finances, ensuring they live within their means while building toward their goals. The beach house has evolved into something I never expected, a symbol of healthy family dynamics. Once a month, Logan and Maya come for dinner. We cook together, share wine, and build the relationship we should have had all along. Last week, Logan brought a bottle of wine that cost more than he used to spend on groceries in a month, insisting it was his turn to provide something nice. Maya has become an unexpected ally in maintaining family boundaries. When Aunt Carol suggested at the wedding that I should buy them a starter home as a first anniversary gift, Maya shut it down immediately. Carol, Owen's generosity has limits, and respecting those limits is how we show love. Logan and I will buy our own home when we've earned it. Mom has slowly accepted this new dynamic. Last month, she admitted, I think I confused helping Logan with loving him. Maybe always catching him before he hit bottom prevented him from learning to fly. Dr. Chen and I continue our work. She's helped me understand that Dad's death created a premature sense of responsibility that I internalized as, my worth equals what I provide. Breaking that pattern has freed me to have authentic relationships. Sarah and I are stronger than ever, and she's planning to move in next month. For the first time, I'm in a relationship where I'm valued for who I am, not what I can provide. Last week, Logan sent me a photo, a framed picture of the beach house hanging in their apartment with a small plaque reading, "Gratitude for boundaries that built brotherhood." It's not a reminder of what they don't have, but what we've all gained through respect. The beach house remains my sanctuary. But it's also become something more, a testament to the power of saying no, to the strength found in boundaries, to the love that grows when you stop enabling and start respecting. Every time I sit on this deck, I'm reminded that protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. To everyone struggling with similar dynamics, your success is not your family's lottery ticket. Your boundaries are not cruelty. The most loving thing you can sometimes say is no. It might destroy the relationship you have, but it might also build the relationship you deserve.